Welcome back to Coin Age Era, the channel where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today's video is going to be very exciting for coin collectors and anyone who loves discovering hidden value in everyday money. In this video, we're going to explore several different years of the famous Lincoln penny, including 1951, 1956, 1973, 1975, 1977, 1983, 1986, and 1991. These pennies may look ordinary, but some of them can actually be worth much more than 1 cent depending on their condition, mint mark, and rare varieties. We'll go through each coin one by one, discussing its history, design, mintage, and potential value. You might even have one of these coins in your pocket or coin jar at home. So before you spend your old pennies, make sure to watch this video till the end, because one small coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start with our first coin. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the famous wheat cent series that was minted from 1909 to 1958. These coins were designed by Victor David Brenner and were created to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. On the front of the coin, you will see Lincoln's portrait along with the words "In God We Trust," Liberty, and the year 1951. The back of the coin features 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. In 1951, these pennies were produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins show a D, and San Francisco coins display an S below the year. Millions of these pennies were produced, which means most of them are quite common today. However, collectors still appreciate them because they belong to the classic wheat penny series that many people love. In circulated condition, most 1951 wheat pennies are worth only a few cents to around $1, depending on their condition. But if the coin is found in uncirculated red condition, its value can increase significantly. Some extremely high-grade coins graded MS-67 or higher have sold at auctions for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors are especially interested in coins that still have their original bright red copper color. Another thing collectors check for is errors or unusual varieties. Occasionally, coins with minting mistakes such as double dies or off-center strikes can become much more valuable. Because of its historical design and connection to the wheat penny era, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny remains a favorite among collectors around the world. The 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the classic coins from the famous wheat cent series that circulated in the United States for nearly 50 years. This series was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. The design of the Lincoln cent was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the obverse front of the coin, you can see a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," while the word "Liberty" appears on the left side. The year 1956 is displayed on the right side of the coin. The reverse back of the coin features 2 wheat stalks on the left and right sides, which symbolize prosperity and agriculture in the United States. Between the wheat stalks are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words appears the national motto, E pluribus unum. Because of this design, collectors often refer to these coins as wheat pennies. In 1956, the coin was produced at 2 major United States mint facilities. The first was the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark. The second was the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark below the year. Millions of pennies were struck at both mints, resulting in a very large total mintage. Because so many were produced, most 1956 Lincoln wheat pennies are considered common coins today. Many of them circulated heavily in everyday commerce during the 1950s and 1960s, which means most surviving examples show signs of wear such as scratches, faded details, and dull color. In circulated condition, a typical 1956 wheat penny is usually worth only a few cents to around $1, depending on its condition. However, the story becomes much more exciting when collectors find coins in uncirculated condition. Uncirculated coins that still have their original, bright red copper color are highly desirable among collectors. These are often labeled as red coins by professional grading services. Coins graded MS65 or higher can sell for significantly higher prices. Some extremely well-preserved coins graded MS67 red have sold at auctions for hundreds or even over $1,000, making them surprisingly valuable for a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. Another important factor collectors look for is mint errors and varieties. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occur, creating coins with unusual features such as doubled letters, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These types of error coins can be far rarer than normal pennies and may be worth much more. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny also represents an interesting moment in U.S. coin history because the wheat penny design was approaching the end of its long run. Only 2 years later, in 1959, the reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat stalks. Because of this, the 1956 penny is often seen as part of the final chapter of the classic wheat penny era. Many collectors enjoy saving these coins, not only for their potential value but also for their historical connection to mid-20th century America. Today, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny remains a popular coin among both beginner and experienced collectors. While most examples are common, finding a perfect high-grade red coin can still be an exciting discovery. So the next time you come across an old wheat penny in your coin jar or pocket change, take a closer look because even a small coin like the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny might hold history, beauty, and unexpected value. Now let's move to the next cent. The 1973 Lincoln Penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series that has been circulating in the United States for more than a century. Like all Lincoln pennies, the front of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner. By 1973, the design of the penny had already changed from the classic wheat reverse to the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959. On the reverse side of the 1973 penny, you can see the famous Lincoln Memorial building located in Washington, D.C. If you look very closely at the center of the memorial, you can actually see a tiny image of Lincoln's statue inside the building. This small detail makes the Lincoln Memorial penny very unique among U.S. coins. The 1973 Lincoln penny was produced at 3 different mints in the United States. These include the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark below the year, and the San Francisco Mint, which produced special proof coins for collectors. Proof coins are struck using specially polished dies and planchettes, which gives them a mirror-like surface and very sharp details. During the early 1970s, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies each year to keep up with the demand for small change in everyday transactions. Because of this massive production, the 1973 penny is considered a common coin today and can still occasionally be found in circulation. Most circulated 1973 pennies are only worth their face value of 1 cent or slightly more to collectors. However, coins that are found in uncirculated condition, meaning they were never used in everyday transactions, can be worth more. These coins often have bright copper color and strong mint luster, which makes them more attractive to collectors. High-grade examples graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services can sometimes sell for several dollars or even higher, depending on their quality. The most valuable coins are those that remain in perfect condition with full red copper color. Collectors also carefully examine 1973 pennies for mint errors and unusual varieties. Sometimes mistakes happen during the minting process, producing coins with doubled letters, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These types of error coins can be much rarer and more valuable than normal pennies. Another interesting aspect of the 1973 penny is its composition. Like other pennies of that time, it was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving the coin its classic reddish color and a weight of about 3.11 grams. This copper composition remained standard until the early 1980s when rising metal prices forced the U.S. Mint to change the penny's material. Although the 1973 Lincoln penny is not usually considered a rare coin, it still holds historical importance as part of the long-running Lincoln cent series. For many collectors, these coins represent a fascinating period in American coinage when the Lincoln Memorial design dominated the penny for nearly 5 decades. Because of its history, design, and connection to the Lincoln cent tradition, the 1973 penny remains a popular coin among collectors. And just like many other coins, its value can increase significantly if it is found in exceptional condition or with a rare mint error. So, whenever you come across an old penny from the 1970s, it's always worth taking a closer look because even a small coin like the 1973 Lincoln penny could turn out to be a valuable piece of history. Now let's move to the next coin, the 1975 Lincoln penny. This coin is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that honors Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin was designed by Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It was also a historic moment in U.S. coinage because it was the first time a real person was featured on a regular circulating American coin. On the obverse front of the 1975 penny, you can see Lincoln's profile facing to the right. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust." On the left side of the coin appears the word liberty, while the year 1975 is displayed on the right side. The reverse back of the coin features the famous memorial. Located in Washington, D.C., this design was introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. At the top of the reverse side are the words United States of America, while the phrase E pluribus unum appears just below it. In the center is the Lincoln Memorial Building, and at the bottom you will see the words 1 cent. One fascinating detail about the Lincoln Memorial design is that if you look very closely at the center of the building, you can actually see a tiny image of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial. This small but impressive detail makes the Lincoln Memorial penny unique among many coins. The 1975 Lincoln penny was produced at 3 United States Mint facilities. These include the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark under the year, and the San Francisco Mint, which produced special proof coins for collectors. Proof coins are struck using specially polished dies and planchettes, giving them a mirror-like appearance and extremely sharp details. During the mid-1970s, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies every year to meet the growing demand for small change in the economy. Because of this massive production, the 1975 Lincoln penny is considered very common today, and many of them can still be found in old coin jars or collections. Most 1975 pennies found in circulation are only worth their face value of 1 cent. However, coins that are found in uncirculated condition can be worth more. Uncirculated coins usually have bright copper color and strong mint luster because they were never used in everyday transactions. Collectors especially value coins that still have their original red copper color. These are often referred to as red coins by professional grading services. High-quality coins graded MS65 or higher can sometimes sell for several dollars or even more, depending on their condition. Another exciting aspect for collectors is the possibility of mint errors. During the coin minting process, mistakes sometimes occur, creating coins with unusual features such as doubled letters, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These types of coins are often much rarer than normal pennies and can be worth significantly more. The composition of the 1975 Lincoln penny is also interesting. Like most pennies of that era, it was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it its classic reddish appearance. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams, which was the standard weight for copper pennies before the metal composition changed in the early 1980s. Although the 1975 Lincoln penny is generally considered a common coin, it still holds an important place in American coin history. It represents the era when the Lincoln Memorial design dominated the reverse side of the penny, a design that remained in use until 2008. For coin collectors, even a common coin like the 1975 penny can be exciting, especially if it is found in perfect condition or with a rare mint error. So the next time you see a 1975 penny in your change, take a closer look. It may seem like just a simple coin, but it carries history, artistry, and the legacy of Abraham Lincoln in your hands. Now let's move to the next coin, the 1977 Lincoln penny. This coin is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series that honors Abraham Lincoln, one of the most important presidents in American history. The design of the Lincoln penny was originally created by the sculptor Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909. It was released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. On the front obverse of the 1977 penny, you will see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his head are the words, "In God we trust." On the left side of the coin appears the word liberty, while the year 1977 is displayed on the right side. The reverse back of the coin features the famous Lincoln Memorial, a national monument located in Washington, D.C. This reverse design was introduced in 1959 and remained on the penny for nearly 50 years until 2008. At the top of the reverse side are the words United States of America, and just below that is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. At the bottom of the coin are the words 1 cent. One fascinating detail about this design is that if you look very carefully at the center of the Lincoln Memorial, you can actually see a tiny image of Lincoln's statue inside the building. This makes the coin unique because Lincoln appears on both the front and the back of the penny. The 1977 Lincoln penny was minted at two major United States mint facilities. These include the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which placed a small D-mint mark below the year. In addition to these coins, the San Francisco Mint also produced special proof coins for collectors. Proof coins are made with specially polished dies and planchettes, giving them a shiny mirror-like surface and very sharp details. During the late 1970s, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies each year because the demand for small change was very high. As a result, the 1977 penny is considered a common coin today, and many examples still exist in circulation or in coin collections. In circulated condition, most 1977 pennies are worth only 1 to 5 cents, depending on their condition. However, coins that are found in uncirculated condition can be worth more to collectors. Uncirculated coins usually have strong mint luster and bright copper color because they were never used in everyday transactions. Collectors especially value coins that still have their original red copper color. These are often referred to as red coins by professional grading companies. High-grade coins graded MS-65 or higher can sell for several dollars, and the finest known examples can sometimes reach even higher prices at auctions. Now let's move to the next coin. The 1983 Lincoln penny is a very interesting coin for collectors because it was produced soon after a major change in the penny's metal composition. Like other Lincoln cents, the front of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. On the front, you will see Lincoln's portrait along with the words "In God we trust," liberty, and the year 1983. The reverse side shows the famous Lincoln Memorial, which was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. One important historical change happened just 1 year earlier. In 1982, the United States Mint changed the penny's composition from mostly copper to zinc coated with copper because copper had become too expensive. As a result, the 1983 penny is made mostly of zinc with a thin copper layer, and it weighs about 2.5 grams, lighter than older copper pennies. The 1983 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with the Denver coins showing a small D mint mark below the year. Billions of these pennies were produced, which means most examples are still very common today. However, collectors are especially interested in error varieties from this year. One of the most famous is the 1983 double die reverse, where the letters on the back of the coin appear clearly doubled. Some of these rare error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. In normal circulated condition, most 1983 pennies are worth 1 to 5 cents. But coins in high-grade uncirculated condition, or with rare mint errors, can be much more valuable. Because of its connection to the major metal change and its famous error varieties, the 1983 Lincoln penny remains a fascinating coin for collectors. Move forward to another coin. The 1986 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that honors Abraham Lincoln. The portrait of Lincoln on the front was originally designed by Victor David Brenner and has been used on U.S. pennies since 1909. On the front obverse of the 1986 penny, you will see Abraham Lincoln's portrait along with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1986. The back reverse of the coin shows the famous Lincoln Memorial, a design that appeared on pennies from 1959 to 2008. By 1986, the penny was already being made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change that started in 1982 because copper had become too expensive. These zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, which is lighter than the older copper pennies. The 1986 Lincoln penny was minted at two major U.S. mint facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, with a small D mint mark under the year. Millions of coins were produced, so most examples are quite common today. In circulated condition, a typical 1986 penny is usually worth only 1 to a few cents. However, collectors still search for coins in high mint state condition, especially those with bright red color and strong luster. Coins graded MS67 or higher can sometimes sell for hundreds of dollars at auctions. Collectors also keep an eye out for mint errors, such as doubled letters, off-center strikes, or other unusual features. These error coins can be much rarer and sometimes significantly more valuable than normal pennies. Even though most 1986 pennies are common, they are still part of the long history of the Lincoln cent, which remains one of the most famous and widely collected coins in the United States. Now let's move to the final coin of today's video. The 1991 Lincoln penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series that has been circulating in the United States for more than a century. Just like the earlier coins in this video, the front of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse front of the coin, you will see Abraham Lincoln's portrait along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1991. The reverse back of the coin shows the well-known Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used on U.S. pennies from 1959 until 2008. By 1991, the penny was already made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change that began in 1982 when copper became too expensive. Because of this, the coin weighs about 2.5 grams, which is lighter than older copper pennies. The 1991 Lincoln penny was minted at two main U.S. mint facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark below the year. Millions of these pennies were produced, making most of them common in circulation. In normal circulated condition, a 1991 penny is usually worth 1 to a few cents. However, collectors are always interested in high-grade uncirculated coins with bright red color and strong mint luster. some of the finest graded. Examples can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on their condition. Collectors also look for mint errors, such as doubled letters, off-center strikes, or unusual die varieties. These rare error coins can sometimes be worth much more than regular pennies. Even though most 1991 pennies are common, they still represent an important part of the long history of the Lincoln cent series and remain popular among coin collectors. So before you spend your old pennies, always check them carefully. You might have a valuable coin in your pocket. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Coinage Era for more amazing coin stories and discoveries.